Well, we've had some great snow lately here, well, really all season, but lately we've had a lot of snow, and that means the backcountry is a little more dangerous than it usually is. It's always something that you've got to take extra caution on, but right now, maybe best to just let it be, because as Dan Smith from Vail Mountain Rescue is about to tell us, we've had some incidents out there lately.
We've got, what did I say, 280 some odd observed avalanches in the state, and how many thousand unobserved, no one knows. We've had 17 people caught in an avalanche. We've had 3 completely buried, and we have 1 killed, and that's in the state. That's a little below last year, but we have the opportunity to catch up. People make mistakes. They make errors in judgment. Sometimes they say, oh, I know what we're supposed to do, but why don't we do this? That's probably not a really good idea. Mistakes, the mountain is not very forgiving, and as I often say, you know, if I go to Black Hawk and lose money on the wheel, at least they buy me a drink.
Yeah,
Mountain's not going to give you a free drink. So it is a very dangerous time, especially if you're traveling in the backcountry, even to huts. You not only have to be worried about being in avalanche terrain, you have to worry about the terrain above you. You have to worry about the terrain below you. Are you going to get swept into a ravine? Are you going to get pushed into a bunch of rocks? You get pushed in a bunch of trees? You just have to be careful. You have to have the skill set. You have to have the gear, because you and your buddies you're skiing with are going to rescue you. We'll be out there if that's unsuccessful.
But that's not going to be an instantaneous thing.
Nope.
The helicopter doesn't just fly right above you and pick you up.
The quickest you're going to get outside help might be 20 to 30 minutes, and that's off the CRAD program with the avalanche dog and snow tech coming off the top of one of the ski mountains in the Flight for Life helicopter. But the Flight for Life helicopter has to be sitting in Summit County. It can be in Denver.
Yeah.
We're probably next, but we're an hour to an hour and 15 minutes away, maybe a little longer, depending on how far back in you've gotten. We had one pretty far up in the Gore a couple of years ago. We were very lucky. We had a Black Hawk available. We had a crew available. It was actually warming up on the pad for another mission, and grabbed 2 of our snow techs and got in and got the guy out, and he's still limping from that fracture. It was several years ago. So there's an awful lot of fortune involved in this, good or bad. Occasionally, there are some errors in judgment involved. We had 2 missions this week that didn't involve avalanches. One was a group of guests at one of our local hotels had been dropped off by the hotel van at the North Trail. And they had no snowshoes, no cleats. I don't believe boots. I think they had tennies. They were in jeans, and they could always see the lights, but there was a cliff between them and the lights. And they called and said they couldn't get out. And it was after dark. Well, we got teams going at both ends, and a civilian happened to be going down the trail walking his dog and let him out. But that can end tragically if you turn the wrong way, or if you suddenly get really, really nervous. Oh, I see the lights, I'm going to go for the lights. And there's this cliff between you and the lights, and you just don't know it. And you pop over. Even if the hotel
tells you something, maybe do a little research with it. That is silly that the concierge would have done that.
We're thinking of having maybe a beginning season little coffee klatch for the concierge that want to come and say, here's some nice things to do. Here's some really terrible things to do. Don't be doing these things.
Yeah, the North Trail is not an easy trail.
No, it's not. And it gets steep on one side. It can be real fun. So it was sporty, and then we had a incident in the river in Minturn, which turned out to be a somewhat inebriated person by the side of the river, which is very good. That's better than in the water this time of year.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun week.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. Everybody, please stay safe out there. I love the work that you do. We really appreciate everything you provide the community, but let's let Dan have a little bit of a rest for the rest of the season. Everybody stay smart in the backcountry. And as Manny just said, in the Vail conditions, Vail has incredible terrain open right now. We're about to get some wind-loaded slopes here with this storm that's going to be windy. Just leave things be for maybe a week or 2 before you head out there. And coming up next, we've got more TV8 Good Morning Vail.